Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. We've got over 350 audios for you to check out, and hopefully, you're doing that on a regular basis. Please subscribe, like, comment below. If there's something we can do to help you, be more than glad to do that. But you got to let us know what that is, so comment below if that's helpful. And please subscribe. If we can reach 1,000 subscribers, we can start to give a little bit to charity, which would be awesome. And I would love your help in that venture. In any event, what is burnout and what to know about burnout? Certainly, after 2020 and the pandemic and the challenges that have affected all 7 billion plus of us worldwide, as it relates to um, the pandemic, is certainly, I think, more people than ever before at all ages and all ranges and all points, may be dealing with burnout. And one thing that's important about burnout is it's an overstimulation challenge. And so, overstimulation can be dealing with too much stress. It can be brought on and lasts for several weeks or months. But usually, if we make behavior modifications and we really commit to some lifestyle changes, that's getting better sleep, delegating responsibilities if we need to, maybe setting new and more realistic goals, finding a way to eat better, finding a way to take time for relaxation, we can heal ourselves from burnout. Because burnout is intended to be temporary and short term, it is a sign within the body that we are overextending ourselves for an extended period of time. But we can kind of reset from that, as opposed to more traditional mental illnesses like panic disorders and depression, where there's a chemical component. Usually, most burnout, let's say 90% plus, is based in situational issues, whereas mental illnesses are based in partial chemical and longer term situations. So, healing with the changes to body, mind, spirit, wellness, and behavior modification is a major factor. Now, triggers for burnout usually are stressors from which we feel overwhelmed for a period of time. These triggers can be financial, they can be emotional, like a breakup or family dynamic challenge. They can be indecisiveness, when we feel we've got to make a decision about where to go to school or what job to take or any other major life decision. That can cause burnout, especially if we're kind of mulling over in our mind repeatedly and repetitively, almost in a cyclical manner. I think I figured it out. No, I haven't thought about this. No, I need to think about this. No, I've got to factor this person in. Okay, I think I figured it out. No, I've got to rethink this. And you kind of go through a cycle where you never make that final decision. And the more you re-trigger on it, the harder it is to become confident in making the decision. So, but this usually happens short term, in that once a decision is made and a couple of days, maybe a week or two at most, is separated from it, you begin to come out of the fight or flight syndrome mentality that comes with burnout, where you've got to make the decision and you begin to come down a little bit. It's almost like an adrenaline rush followed by exhaustion, and then you're able to rest in the comfort of your decision. And ultimately, there's a nature to it. And then the next thing is, again, it's supposed to be short term. You can keep your mind on your self value, though. You have, even if you're feeling frustrated or powerless or scared, you still have, once I get through this, I'll be okay. There's a hope of getting to the other side. Whereas with many more traditional mental illnesses that are in the DSM, one can go through periods of time of varying lengths, from short term to medium term to long term, of feeling like there is no solution, there is no release, there is no relief. Whereas with burnout, the belief is, once I get through this circumstance, I will find relief. And so that's where it's a much more manageable factor. And we still see our self value. We still see ourselves as a good person. We still see ourselves as able to contribute to society, even during those worst case scenarios. The next thing is, we detach. We almost become robotic. And I know, before I took sick, and for those that have followed the channel long term, In the summer of 2018, I nearly died due to a body give out where I had been running myself for several years in a minor burnout, well, no, moderate burnout state for years in a row. And I had a lot of things all crash down on me in a few months' time. And then my body gave out, and my rheumatoid arthritis that I've had for, almost, going on to closer to 2 decades now, at least a decade and a half, um, finally kicked in and literally took my body away. I had been in basically what I jokingly call cyborg mode for so long that when I finally stopped to take a breath, my body said, "Okay, you've pushed us beyond what we can handle," and it took 15 months of my life to recover. So going into that detached state for maybe a couple of days, a couple of weeks at most is manageable and you can reset. But if you do it for years at a time or months at a time, you will have a body reaction. And I try to tell people, even though you think people, it matters that you take care of people, sometimes there's limitations to what we can do. And now, on the other side of that, nearly 2 years, well, it'll be 3 years in August since that whole ordeal started for me. So, almost 2.5 years right now. Um, I know that it took me nearly 2.5 years before that to get to it. So to think that 5 years of my life was in a different stage of leading to a burnout cycle is just really kind of it's frustrating sometimes. Anyway, um, this burnout has stages that you're building to, so you might even have the mindset to be able to say, "Hey, I'm getting to a point where I can't take anymore." And I remember vividly, and I deal with clients all the time who are like, "Okay, I'm gonna get to a point where I just quit. I'm gonna get to a point where I just give out. My body gives out, my mind gives out, my emotions give out." And you can feel that coming for sometimes several weeks or months. Now, if you don't cut it off, you are going to affect your physical body. You may affect your mental health for an acute period of time. But when you change the behavior, you will be able to find solutions. So hopefully this is helpful to you. Once again, I encourage you, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.